welcome to How to Win Series 6. I know all you are looking forward to the future series, and we're moving on to Series 6, the Pan American this time. So looking at the tracks, we've got still a bit of a mixed car. I mean, mostly you've got a bit of speed in Brazil. We've got some cornering in Montreal. We've got Miami with speed. I mean, there's a very mix. So I'm going to say you want a very balanced setup again. And this is what we're running in Series 6. Yet again, if you've got better drivers than what I'm using, simply use your better drivers. That's key. Okay, I'm just picking some drivers from Series 6 and some decent levels, maybe if I've got them as well. Look, I can upgrade, but I'm trying to push myself to the back of the grid to help give you some strategies. And here is some setups that I'm running as well. So Wildcore, Spectrum, Patron, we've got Zeno, Equator, Trim Burst. So if you have got other parts, then make sure to use them as well. There's some fairly different parts available. We've got Verdict at Series 6, but I wouldn't really recommend that just yet either. We've got Radiance, which is Series 6, but I've got it quite a high level, which you might not have, so I'm holding back on that one as well. And Twin Burst I've got at level 5 common at Series 5. So that's what I'm running in Series 6, having already completed Series 5. So here we go with Miami, Series 6, and we're about to smash this and get you through to Series 7. So remember, all my parts and drivers are just a base. If you've got anything higher level, then please do use them. And we start P10 and 11 this time round in Series 6 as well. So you can still follow the same strategies that I'm going to be following in here. So do please, whatever position you start, follow the same sort of strats and you will be fine. So we're going to boost off straight away. Zhou Guanyu and Nico Hulkenberg. And we've got poor race starts because of our driver levels. Hopefully you've got some better drivers. But what we're going to do is keep boosting. We don't want to get sort of blocked up if we can help it. And then what we're going to do is then once we get a bit of a gap, we're going to move on to a medium boost. So we've got 7 laps of Miami. So with Guan Yu going backwards a little bit, Hulkenberg nicely in P13. We're going to try and do a 3-2-2 with Nico, if we can. And we're going to do probably a 2-3-2 with Zhou Guanyu. That's very, very decent strategies all around here. So we come up the straight, and because we're conserving, not pushing as hard as some of the soft rivals out there, we are losing a few positions. But don't worry, we'll come back at the end of the race. There's no point wasting your power unit. You can see the tyres on Zhou Guanyu right at 50%. So we can't really push too much either. And then what we're going to do is come out on the hards. And then we'll come in on lap number 5. And then it'll be the last lap where we make up our huge challenge on everyone else. So cutting down the straight. No sort of gap behind us. I mean, we've got hard tyres and we're 3 seconds ahead of them. It is a speed track, Miami. So if you've got boosts that do help with speed and overtaking, then by all means get them on. As we've got Nico Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu, P12 and P14. And can we make a move? We can't, but we're coming into the pits. And in we come. Nico Hulkenberg carries on into P6. So going longer has really helped Hulkenberg up into P5. And what we're going to do is come back for the mediums. Can we get a move done on the McLaren? We're going to have a look for it, but can't get it done. We've got Zhou Guanyu in 20. Can Hulkenberg get through? He can't just yet. Zhou Guanyu is doing okay though. P20 is going to make up a bunch of positions now as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to boost down the straight. In comes Hulkenberg. We're going to boost him to pit. And it's a little bit laggy this game, but we've got a good strategy coming in for you here, so I want to keep at it. And it is very jolty indeed. As Zhou Guanyu up into P12, we'll cut back down. We've got Hulkenberg now back out as well. So we're going to boost him. So these are going to pit at the same lap now, lap 5. So we're going to use our power unit that we've built up and fly ahead of these cars. We should be able to get past K-Mag here. Quite easy. And it is very jolty now. But we're okay. We're up into P11. We're going to keep boosting. And Nico should get past Mr. Russell here. And goes round the outside and into a nice position. Look at this. Coming out P5. We're going to come back for some mediums. We're going to use all this power unit. And there you go. So P5. And we're right behind P4. Component failure, as they always do. And we're going to cut to medium. Zhou Guan Yu using the same straight, but he's far enough behind. So he should be able to get a very good chance of cutting past. Again, Hulkenberg conserving down the straight. And then coming into the pits. We move on to medium. And in we come. So already in a very decent spot. We got a pit quickly there for Zhou Guan Yu. Nearly forgot. And Hulkenberg, we're going to set about this very shortly. He'll come out P8. But we've got a few people to pit as well. And we're going to build that power unit. Oh, we're going to push Zhou Guan Yu. And look at the power unit we're getting back already. 42% now. But don't worry about Ocon. Because Ocon has got a pit and he's on the medium, hard tyres. He'll go to soft probably. Zhou Guan Yu's up to P13. And again, we're just going to hold on to that power unit down the straight. 56% now. So let's boost. And Zhou Guan Yu, we can now boost as well. So Hulkenberg round to P5. And which has got a back marker. So making some good moves now. We've saved that power unit. And here comes Zhou Guan Yu as well. Up to P9. Should be able to get P8 past Alonso. We're going to cut down for a minute. We'll attack him later on. Like so. And we've got P8 and P7 here. Is there any moves? There's a move on the Ferrari. There's not a move by Zhou Guan Yu, but Hulkenberg is going to come home for P5. Zhou Guan Yu, we can start boosting again. See if we can make a last-ditch tackle. Move up the inside. And Zhou Guan Yu is going to come home in 8. And Nico Hulkenberg in P5. So a 3-2-2 and a 2-3-2 to set off in Miami. So let's go. Canada and Montreal. So a very tricky track as well from last year. But hopefully with this strategy, you can start moving up the grid a little bit too. And let's see how we fare on the grid. So mid-pack, 11 and 12. Starting pretty high and pretty good in these series, which is always a bonus. So we're going to do a 2-stop with Zhou Guan Yu and a 1-stop with Nico Hulkenberg. So a 3-3-2 will be the first driver and a 4-4 with our second. So we're going to get off to a slow start in Canada because it is a very slow start here. So we finally get away. And obviously we've got the race start on this first lap, so we want to boost a little bit and try and make up some early positions with your drivers. And already you can see we're up to P8 and P10. And what we're going to do then is come around here. We do grab P7 and we're going to cut down to build that unit back up. What we'll do is we'll have a quick blast into the hairpin. See if we can make up another one. We can. And then we're going to cut down. So we've got a good number of spaces already. Or places. I don't know why I keep calling it spaces, but who knows. Into P6. And then now it's all about saving ourselves for the rest of the race. Hulkenberg's really tight on a 4-4 at the minute. His tyres are at 75% as they cross the line. And who have we got in front of us? We've got some medium tyres. So just conserve down the straights. What we're going to do is we're going to go for a run and see if we can get Sainz in at the hairpin. And we can, up to P5 then. Hulkenberg, I'm not going to push too much yet. Don't need to. But he pushes himself, look, past Alonso. And we'll be coming into the pits this lap. So let's use these tyres. And come in. See if we can make a few positions. And what we'll do is we've still got to conserve when we come out of the pits anyway. But what this is going to do, it's going to create us a nice bit of gap to some of the cars behind. We might have come out in that P10 battle, which our own teammate is in. But instead, we are rocking P3 as we come into the pits. Hulkenberg just loses out to Alonso, who's on the hards, so that's quite a surprising move. And we're bang on the 4 laps at the minute. And it looks like there's a fair few going to that as well. So what we're going to do is going to come back for the hards, because we can overtake on this game, and we need a bit of attack. We've got 95% power unit. We're going to let these carry on overtaking. That's fine. There's going to be a lot of cars that do an extra lap. And here's Zhou Guanyu on the softs, past Carlos Sainz on the mediums. And into P5. Can we get him past the Ferrari? We can. Round the outside we go. Can we get past the hard tyre as well? That'd be a nice bonus. I can't push. I can now. And hopefully this does result in an overtake. And it does. We're up to P1 then, with Nico Hulkenberg now coming out in P15. We're going to boost him because we've got the power unit available. We're going to use Zhou Guanyu to get the power unit back. And can Hulkenberg start making some moves? He can't there. We've got Zhou Guanyu in the lead though, comfortably. So let's boost again. We've got a few people pitting now ahead. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars are pitting, but some of them will get out ahead of us as Hulkenberg gets into P14 then. Can he get ahead of some of these coming out? He can, and he can get the McLaren as well. So into P9 for Nico Hulkenberg. It's going to be tough to make any more positions from there, but it's a very difficult track, Canada. But we're in good spot at the minute to at least make some positions and some decent points. We're just conserving all the time. And we can't conserve that one. As Zhou Guanyu comes out P3. We're going to look after them at the minute. And yeah, P8 spread out. It's going to be on P3 to get that position. But that's all right, that's all right. We're going to boost again with Hulk. We're going to boost with Zhou Guanyu down to the hairpin. Close the gap. We're going to have a last lap of boost in here. As Hulkenberg trying to get past Norris. Does finally get past Norris. Let's conserve that. We can boost Zhou Guanyu. So we'll get all the power unit we can down this straight. And then we'll boost away. And I'm happy with how Hulkenberg is only P9 from where he started, because it's a very, very difficult track. The big thing is for you at home, Zhou Guanyu getting some seriously good points. We're not going to be able to get P1 by the look of it. But that's all right. We get a P2 with a nice matchup. A difficult matchup in the end. But it is going to be P2 and P9 for ourselves. And we will take that absolutely all day long in Series 6. That is 39 points and a decent little strategy in Canada. Let's go Austin. We've been here before and it's going to be a fairly similar strategy, but let's find out if it still works. in Series 6. And we're going to qualify that mid-pack again, as we always do, 11 and 12. So we've got to split the strategies, and we're going to do that by going medium, or hard, on Nico Hulkenberg. We're going to go softs on Zhou Guanyu. And we're going to do a 2-3-2 with Zhou Guanyu. 4-3 with Nico Hulkenberg to try and keep him out the longest. And we're hoping with the race start that we can get a good start. So, Hulkenberg, straight up the inside. If your drivers get the inside line, you're going to be very happy around this track. That is for certain. We're going to already cut down. And what have we got ahead of us? Soft, hards, mediums. Quite a good range. And Zhou Guanyu getting past Ocon, that early race start helping him massively. We're going to boost a little bit. Can we come back down the straight? Hulkenberg's nicely in P10. Zhou Guanyu now looking for a move on Alonso and Norris. Gets it. We're going to cut that down. Hulkenberg holding his own in P10 with that hard. Probably will lose a start going backwards like he has done there. But that's okay. We're going to use the last bit of this race start. Can we get P5? We can. Up to P5. Lovely. And the rival's pushing all the way through. But we've got a nice little gap to do this 4-3. And this 4-3 should work very well because a lot of cars around us are on soft and mediums. The odd car on the hard tyre. But Zhou Guanyu will bring into the pits this lap. And the reason we'll go mediums is so we can do 3 laps. And we can gain some of that power unit back on them 3 laps. So here is Zhou Guanyu looking at Sergio Perez. Job done on him. Can we get Sainz before we come into the pits, the small wins and all that? We can't, but we're the only one, as well as Charles Leclerc, coming into the pits. So, good stop needed. We're not going to push our Nico yet. And we're coming back out. So, Zhou Guanyu, 2 laps in, coming out in P6. That's good for him. Hulkenberg, P10. Still, pretty good tyre management, pretty good power unit as well. We'll be able to come back for the mediums for his second stint. Perez behind us, looking pretty quick. What's Perez running? Soft tyres, so that's expected. We're going to look after the power unit. So don't worry if you go backwards, because we're going to be a lot better in the race. These will pit now. We will start a push with Nico Hulkenberg. Hard tyres. 1 lap to go on him. We'll close that gap up a little bit. And he does get ahead into P6. That 1 stop working a treat is in P5 now. Looking at Carlos Sainz. Remember, Carlos Sainz on them softs. Can he get the job done? He can't. He goes through Carlos Sainz. So we're going to hold. Car servicing a bit low as well. But job done for Nico Hulkenberg. He's going to come back out probably around 11th, 12th place as the team orders come into effect. So a good stint from Nico. The Hulk. And in he comes. Zhou Guanyu. 1 more lap and he'll come back for some softs. We've looked after the power unit to get us as a good stint at the end. Where do we come out with the Hulk though? In P8 or 9, P8. So that's brilliant. So that's exactly where we wanted to be. A lot better than we thought we would be as well. Zhou Guanyu is coming back for some softs. I'm going to still just use all that power unit. 2 laps to go after this one. Looking good in the points positions though, I must say. And Zhou Guanyu now will come into the pits. Soft tyres available. Team are ready. Hulkenberg sitting P8, stuck behind Esteban Ocon. Not for long. Up to P7. Zhou Guanyu's coming out nicely into P6. So we've got our drivers P6, P7 from P11, P12. 1 lap to go after this. We've got softs and hards. No pit stops to come ahead of us. Can we close the gap? We are right behind our rivals. We're going to still not panic yet. We're going to fuel ourselves in terms of the power unit for an attack on 2 hard tyres and some softs at the end of this race. So here we go. We're going to get to about 80% and we're going to push. Do the same with Hulkenberg now. We'll see how much power unit he's got that can go. And here we go. The final lap. It's what we've been saving for. Zhou Guanyu already up to P5. Past Perez. Trying to get past Max Verstappen, who is on the hard tyre. That's the last hard tyre runner. And it's the last car that we get past. It's P4 for Zhou Guanyu. Nico Hulkenberg now behind Perez. Running out of power unit, but he's going to get P6. And he's going to get P5 as well. And look at Zhou Guanyu up to P3. And we've stolen a podium position. And Nico Hulkenberg coming through as well to secure. It's going to be Zhou Guanyu in P3. It's going to be Nico Hulkenberg in P5 in Austin. And look at that, from mid-pack, it's 42 points. Let's go Mexico. And see if we can put some good strategies together for you to run in Series 6. Remember, we're not using these with boosts. And if you have better car parts and drivers, please do use them as well. And we start P8, P10 at present. So we're going to go hards and mediums. We're going to do a 4-4 with Zhou Guanyu and potentially a 5-3 with Nico Hulkenberg. But we'll see how the race pans out, because that could change into a 4-4 quite easily. So some softs ahead. Zhou Guanyu gets an average start. Rival behind got obviously a better start than us, and Nico Hulkenberg is going backwards. But Zhou Guanyu into the first corners and stays where he is, P8. Hulkenberg's gone miles back though into P16. And now Zhou Guanyu can have a look, trying to take Fernando. Can't get it done. Hulkenberg sat P15. So it's going to be a very tricky track, this in Mexico, I think, for a lot of players. As Zhou Guanyu is looking at Perez. Perez is on that hard. So let's see if we can't just boost past. But somehow Russell comes back at us and gets the move done. And so does Gasly. So pretty unlucky with that one. Hulkenberg's out in P17. So we've been absolutely shafted so far. And look at that. Hulkenberg going backwards. Just can't compete on the hard tyres, especially while the rival's pushing. But can Zhou Guanyu rescue something a little bit? What we got ahead of us? Gasly's on the softs. Perez on the hard. So can we now get past Perez with a bit of push? We can. So we're back past Perez, P9. Hulkenberg's going backwards on the hards. But that shouldn't be too bad, because that should come into our strategy later on when people start to pit. And we're right behind Logan Sargent on the softs. But it definitely shows a difference using the hards. It's a lot slower than everything else around us. Zhou Guanyu going to come under attack by the softs. Hulkenberg's looking for a move. And off we go. We're going to come back for mediums on Zhou Guanyu. So let's push into the pits now. And Hulkenberg down the straight. Still conserving. We're going to be right up against the car service in here as well. But at the minute, we're P17. We're going to have some good management at the end. Zhou Guanyu pits from P5. Hulkenberg car servicing is my issue. 20%. But a few pit stops now. And we're going to be good to go at the end of this race as we come down. Zhou Guanyu's in P8, Hulkenberg P14. So Zhou Guan Yu might be able to make some good positions here. Zhou Guan Yu can. He's up to P7, getting past Stroll on the slower tyre. And Hulkenberg's got 100% power unit. That's what we like to see. Beware, opponents. We are coming for you. As Hulkenberg now swings into the pits from P14. Zhou Guan Yu in P6. Looking at Alonso. Alonso on the hard tyres. We've got a component failure by the rival as well. So is there any early moves that we can make? We can get P21 back. And Zhou Guan Yu looking at P4 and Norris. We're going to cut down because we want to save ourselves for a push. These are on hard tyres. They're going to be pretty slow. As Hulkenberg now coming through the pack. This is what we wanted to see. And look how much ease we're making it. Everyone using hard tyres. We're just going to mind it a little bit. And up to P14 now for Nico Hulkenberg. So great move there. We've got Norris on the hards ahead of us for Zhou Guan Yu. Not anymore. Job done. We're going to come back quickly. So we're going to conserve down the straight again. We're going to push and get past this rival. We've got a couple of hard tyres, quite a few hard tyres ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. And here's a move on both of them from Nick. Great move. So we're still going to cut and then we're going to boost with Zhou Guan Yu now. Rival's using all his power unit up. And we're going to just hold and then we're going to push from here. This should give us full beans to the end. Mexico is a very tricky track. Very tricky track. But Zhou Guan Yu comes home in P number 4. Nico Hulkenberg trying to get past a couple more. We've managed to get back up to the place where we were before. We'll take that because we had an awful start on the hards. But it is going to be P4 for Zhou Guan Yu and P11 at a very difficult track in Mexico. So a good solid 35 points. Here we go, Brazil, the final race of Series 6, how to win. Difficult track, because the AI like to do a 5-4 or a 4-5, but we just don't have the tyres for that. And I'll tell you what, Nico Hulkenberg has got a great start up in P4 here. That's pretty incredible that he's managed to sort that out. So we're going to go 2 laps for Zhou Guan Yu, 3 laps for Nico Hulkenberg. So good qualifying. That shows you what qualifying can do. And he is up into P4 as we've moved through the series, levelling up the car here and there. So, can we get a good start? Nico Hulkenberg does get a good start up into P2. And can we boost on again? We're going to do 4 laps. And we can. So, Zhou Guan Yu, we're going to keep pushing a little bit. We're going to do a nice little early pit stop with him and see if we can come through the field. Nico Hulkenberg, we're just going to look after the tyres and that power unit. Can we get Zhou Guan Yu up to P6? Not quite. Rivals pushing on the hards and we'll let them go. That's okay. That is okay. And then what we're going to do is we're now going to push Zhou Guan Yu, bring him in for 4 laps on the medium tyre. Can we get past Leclerc finally? No, we can't get past Leclerc. Leclerc's proven an absolute trooper as we now finally do get through. So Zhou Guan Yu about to then come into the pits for a very early stop. And rival running out of power unit. And in comes Zhou Guan Yu. Can we get Hulkenberg into P5? Yes, we can. Hulkenberg with his dodgy qualifying position. Zhou Guan Yu should come out last, but what you'll find is now he can just conserve and sit with the pack. And he's not even going to come out last. He's going to come out P23. If I select the right mode of boost, then we won't lose that spot. So we're just going to let that build up now for 4 laps. And obviously we'll have 3 laps at the end. We've got Hulkenberg 1 more lap. And what we'll do is, after we've done 4, we can then look about setting out on some mediums again. And we can push obviously a bit more on a 3-lapper medium. Zhou Guanyu then making some moves past some early pitters. And you can see everybody ahead all still got to pit. That's the good thing. We'll get Zhou Guanyu past that hard tyre. That's crucial. There we go. Job done. We've got Nico Hulkenberg now coming in P2. On to the mediums with good power unit availability. Zhou Guanyu up the straight bend, whatever you want to call it. Quite a lot of people pitting on lap 4, so Zhou Guanyu moves into P8. Hulkenberg back out though in P7, so that's what we like to see. And we've still got a few pit stops ahead of us too. Let's close the gap on these hard tyres. We've got one more lap to do with Zhou Guanyu. And you can see that power unit building up pretty nice as well. So can Hulkenberg get round these hard tyres? He's round 1, and he's got Hamilton ahead, who's on the hard. So everybody out here is on the hard tyre now, and they will probably be going to the end. A lot of them will anyway. So it's all about managing now with Zhou Guanyu. Can we get some power unit up for a 3-lap push? We're in some decent positions. We're trying to get past Perez. Perez on the hards. And we're just going to target and we get past. So perfect there. Zhou Guanyu coming into from P5 is going to drop back. And you can see a lot of hard tyres out there. That's why the AI can do that. The AI's got good tyre management. We haven't. But Hulkenberg will be coming back for some softs. Zhou Guanyu comes out in P9. Or nearly P9. But finally gets it back from Carlos Sainz. Hulkenberg will pit. So the 2, 4, 3 working nicely. And the 4, basically 4, 3, 2 is working nicely as well around here. Zhou Guanyu is coming up the home bend. Hulkenberg's coming out P6. And Zhou Guanyu is in P8, which is still looking after that power unit. Rival's going to get past here, but it's all a game like a yo-yo. That is the key. We've got Hulkenberg into P5, and Zhou Guanyu now, look, even on medium, just coming straight back past. Any pit stops? There is a few pit stops ahead, so let's boost. Let's see if we can make a jump. We've got P2, P3 and P4 coming in. As Nico Hulkenberg gets into P2, he's used all his power unit. Zhou Guanyu looking at Leclerc in P4, gets it. That undercut strategy has worked a treat. And we're not going to catch P1. P1 on the hards. Running out of tyres, but we're not catching him quick enough. Zhou Guanyu looking for a move on P3, done it. And what a race this is in Brazil. So a 2-4-3 strategy on Zhou Guanyu and a 4-3-2 strategy on Nico Hulkenberg will see us come home with a P2 finish and a P3 finish in Brazil for a massive 45 points. So I hope How to Win Series 6 has really helped you start moving up the series. We've obviously completed Series 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 now, and I want to wish you the very best of luck in Series 7. So hopefully we'll see you in another How to Win series for Series 7.